Well, brothers and sisters, it's a great privilege today to talk a little bit about what's happening in July for us as a church. In God's goodness and His kindness and His mercy, we can meet again in Sunday services in July. This is because the Australian government has changed what they think is healthy and safe at this time, and we can have even more than 100 people gathering in one place, which is such an exciting thing. I'm so excited to see people in church, just to see you. I get so excited just running into people in the street at the moment who come from church. I so miss seeing you all. And so I'm really excited about this. And what I want to say today is that we are planning for July 19 to be the day when we relaunch the services of our church. I'm not sure how you feel about that, but I'm really looking forward to that. Why July 19? Well, that's well into the period when we're allowed to do it, which means that we can see how things go. If there's any second wave, we'll know by then. It gives us plenty of time to test our systems, our safety systems, and our live stream systems. It gets us to the end of the school holidays. Just everything lines up well for that date, so we are prepared and ready to gather again as God's people. Now, there are some logistical issues we're contending with as we do that. It is important and vital that we have one person per 4 square meters, and we have people 1.5 meters away from one another in church. Now, thanks be to God that St. Stephen's is a big church. We can still fit plenty of people in here every week. But Erskineville Church is a little bit smaller. You can only fit 35 people in the church building at one time with the 4 square meter rule. Now that is quite prohibitive. And we've been talking to a bunch of people about what to do about that. Parish council and a few people at either of the morning services thinking about what do we do with this as a problem, as an issue. We've thought through running multiple services at Erskineville to accommodate everyone. We've thought about live streaming from Newtown to Erskineville each week. But as we've thought about it, we've tried to contend with 3 really big factors that are really important. One is that we always want room for newcomers at church. People need to be able to meet Jesus every week. They have to be able to walk into the building if it's their week to meet Jesus. That's vital. Secondly, we need to make sure there's space for every adult, for every kid, for every youth to be able to be discipled well at this time. It's been a really tricky time, and we need to make sure that everyone can be loved in church each week when they come. And thirdly, we don't want to overload everyone. Volunteers every week who serve in music and in welcoming in all kinds of ways. And the ministry team, we don't want to overload everyone as we get started again. And with these 3 things in mind, we've really come to the conclusion that we can't open up Erskineville at the moment. We will, when things change and when we don't have to adhere to the 4 square meter rule anymore. But as for now, it's just a bit too difficult to do things well in that space. Now, this opens up a unique season for us as a church. And what we've decided on July 19 to do is to run 2 morning services up here at Newtown in the morning. And what we're hoping is that there'll be a mix from both our morning services at either of those services. You might be wondering, well, why a mix of people? Well, one of the other big logistical issues is how to actually fit all our kids in to their programs every week. We can't have all our preschoolers at church at the same time. We can't fit them in the small space we have for them. We can't fit all of our youth and kids in the main hall actually at the same time at the moment. We need to be careful and we need to be safe about the way we do things. The best way to love them well at the moment is for some of them to come to either service. And that means we need to kind of spread people out across both. Now, there's more details about how we should do that and how that might work. I don't want to talk about that today. I just want to signal the unique season that's coming up for us as we wait for the time when we can relaunch services at Erskineville as well. Now, you might be grieved by that, hearing that today, and that's fair enough. You've been wanting to come back and see the people that you love at church every week. The relationships that have been a bit on hold now that you haven't seen people as frequently. I can understand that. You know what's going to be needed to take hold of this season really well is intentionally doing hospitality, picnics in the park, time at the pub, time around the dinner table with each other. You need to invest in relationships. That you mightn't be seeing people every week doesn't mean that you can't grow and invest in those relationships until that time when things can resume closer to what they were. What's very important for us as a church, and something that we've learned in this season, is that we're one church. We're not just 4 services. NEAC is one group of people who've been brought together to serve the Lord Jesus. And we get to express that uniquely in this season while we wait for Erskineville to open. So can I encourage you today? There's plenty of details to be thought through still, and we're going to talk to you more about things. But just have it in your mind today that there's a unique season coming, and embrace it. Expect God to move in it. Expect Him to do things that are good. Expect it to be a joyful thing to see some of the people you've been missing face to face again. July 19 is the day. And I'm looking forward to being there with you.